So I kind of asked the question to open it up a bit more. How many times do you think this has happened? Our ancestors, our forefathers, all the billions of people that have gone before us, how many times has this happened? That they get ground down by the system and get to a realization that they're totally and utterly trapped and can't handle the cognitive dissonance of fighting against their entrapment, so accept their entrapment by saying, what can you do? You've just got to make the best of it. Just got to make do. Can't mope. Got to push on. Find the good things. Are we going to thank our ancestors for pushing on through, for making the best of it, making more generations that just get ground down by the system, so they just have to make do? Avoid the cognitive dissonance of knowing that they're trapped and making do, making more babies, so more people have to make do. Are we going to thank them for that? Sorry, I'm not. Hello, everybody, or nobody, I don't know. This might not actually become a video, we'll see. Because there's so much happening up here at the moment. There are about 5 or 6 videos I want to make. And in a way I know I could roll them all together into one video. But if I was to do that, it would probably be about an hour long, and various people would fall off at various times. So I think it might be constructive for me if I go through the things in my head and see what happens. The videos I want to make. From a comment this morning, which is the second comment on the Grey Text video, I realised that there aren't many people that understood that video. So there's a general recommendation to go and watch it again at least once, maybe twice more. It's only a short video. But I rarely go back and see videos, watch videos again. I normally put them up and that's the end of it. But because somebody didn't understand it, I went and watched it again, and it is what I want. You know, you can't say that's exactly what I wanted to say, but I'm quite proud of the video. It's a good video. Now, I don't think Greatex will go back to it again. He's probably watched it the once, not understood it, and won't go back to it. And that's a contrived knock-on to another thing that I wanted to talk about, which was the human being and pain avoidance. Let's jump to Joe Darwin's hamster, who did a rambling video. He called it rambling, where he touched on free will, and I wanted to talk to Darwin's hamster Joe about free will and the judicial system, and how the judicial system punishes the I, the soul of the human being, in its punishments. And that's worthy of discussion. I've just listened to Gary listening to a Fred video, and listening to Fred saying that he wouldn't tell his children not to have children, and the way he said it was in a very... It confirmed what I was thinking, that Fred is very much in between the walls. Jumps from wall to wall with his bunny ears on sometimes, but always jumps down back in between the walls, the self-constricting walls. Free will came up in that video as well, and I wanted to develop the fact that people that live between the walls can understand the concept of free will, but between the walls understanding the concept of free will is much different to when the walls are down and you're free to look around. And that would take me back to the Great X video and the people not understanding it. And one of the things I was saying, that Great X is trapped and has been forced into the trap of the walls. And when you're in the trap, which most all of us are in, I'll say us, all of us are in, when you're trapped there, and you're forced into this trap by society, life, existence in a modern world, some things work against you, where when you're living in a world without the walls, or lower walls, or just hedges, those things act on you in a different way. And what a sad, I suppose this is more, the Great X video is more being prevalent here, and what a sad situation it is when you are trapped. Like Great X now is starting to be trapped. So the things that could have been freeing for him are now being constricting. And these are the same things that maybe would have been freeing for Fred, I don't know, in university days or teenage days, I don't know when, maybe never, are now constricting for Fred as well. And for most people, Anton, and Darwin's hamster not so much. I think I'm just keeping this together. Darwin's hamster not so much, and you can get it from the rambling video. But why Darwin's hamster, Joe, is not constrained by the walls is a similar reason to me, probably. A certain amount of thought's gone into it, but it's the comfortableness of it. When you know that life, to a greater extent, can't touch you, you don't have to go keep yourself between the walls so much. You can say and do things with freedom that you can't when the walls are up and constructed. And just to emphasise that the walls are up and constructed, think of it of Pink Floyd, The Wall. I'm sure that's what they were on about. For most everybody. And we spend our, I think I've started that way, we spend our lives constructing walls, first around small children, then school children, then college children, then young adults in business, and then adults. It's all about wall creation, constriction in the confines of living. The bit that I'm not going to be able to finish this video off with, because I don't think I've got the words for it, is, I'll try, the free will thing within the walls, the constructed walls of constriction of society. Free will and understanding that you don't have it doesn't do you any good at all, because you're forced to forget it and to force completely to act as though you do have free will. It's part of the walls. But without the walls being up, the fact that you don't have free will, I'll leave it in that sort of saying. I don't like saying you don't have free will, because there's no you to have the free will, but that's certainly another video, and I've made enough of them. When you know that you don't have free will, when your walls are down, that is a very freeing thing indeed, and would lead to any other parts of the wall that might still be standing to maybe fall down, and to give much more open vista and freedom to life. But for the people with the walls that are well constructed and still high, it just is ignored. It might be understood, but it's ignored. And I think it's so sad, because I suppose that I feel that my walls were tumbling down, and it was the realization of the fact of there being no me to have the free will that cleared the last remnants of the walls away, and did add to the quality of my life, or for the first time gave my life a quality that it never had before. Up till then it was constriction, constriction, constriction. But it was that realization that cleared away the construction, the constriction. And this is why probably I've spent 4 years on YouTube making hundreds of videos about it, because I'd like it to be the same for other people. But this video is to confirm that as the walls are being slowly constructed on people, that fact, the fact that there is no you to have the free will, is not powerful enough to knock big walls down. It's only enough to clear away the debris of walls. And generally what happens in life is, as soon as the walls start being constructed, you get on the creating the walls thing in life, and as life goes on, your walls just get higher and higher and thicker and more constricting, and it becomes rarer and more impossible for you ever to get outside those walls ever again, which I think is sad. So that's my best effort at linking that lot together. Some of you might have understood. Thanks, bye.